Okay. All right. So lab 3. I forgot to change this one. At the end of the session, okay, you should be able to first you will learn about how to import the database schema, okay, and then today we want to pursue with the queries using SQL, okay, queries. So we have many types of queries, many functions of queries. Then today we start with the common one, and the important one is the first, okay, select. Okay, select is a must. Yeah, it is a must. Without select, so the queries is not cannot perform. Okay, and then finally backup the database and also the table. Okay. So remember this schema last week, you are introduced with this schema, and then what are you doing in your lab 2? Okay, you are given this kind of schema together with metadata for the specific tables, and then you go to the MySQL, and then you create the table, right? You create the tables using create tables, departments, create tables, location, and so on. Okay, and then you you describe, you put in the attributes, data type, data size, and so on. Okay, you are using the SQL. Okay, how to create the table, and then at the end of the lab, you insert the data, right? Using the SQL statement, insert into table, okay, table name, and then in bracket the attributes, then values, okay, the keyword values, and then put in the values. That is the data that you want to store in the table, specific table. Okay, so this is so we continue to use the HR schema for this week. Okay, right. So this given the HR schema. Okay, so but last week you used HR as a database, right? We create a database namely as HR. Okay, but this week we the SQL, the full SQL tables has been given. Okay, has been given, and we want to import it into our database. Okay, so it is easier. Okay, so we no need to create it. Somebody has been created this one, and that is shared. Okay, so today right, uh, we start with the activate the XAMPP PHP my admin. Okay, and then click on the database or create a new database HR main. Okay, and then click on the import tab, browse through the HR schema MySQL .sql file by clicking the choose file. Okay, and so this file is provided in the author and also in the WhatsApp. So please download. Okay, keep somewhere in your desktop. Okay, and then we want to see the changes. Okay, let's do it. This one. Okay, so this is the content actually, HR schema MySQL. This is the content. What inside? You can see. Okay, you can see inside is the statement. Create table, create table. Okay, with all other definition. Okay, right. So this is the SQL file. Okay, now we start the XAMPP as usual. Go to the PHP my admin. Okay, PHP my admin. Okay, so this one too large. Okay, Now we are requested to not this one. Okay. All right. So go to the SQL and then create HR min. Okay. Sorry. Create database HR min. Okay. And then click go. Then new HR database, HR min database should be created. Okay. HR min. Okay. Then or you can also use the GUI here, create HR min, and then click create. Okay, HR min. But just now I already create the database, so they give some message cannot create database HR min. Okay, the database is already exists. Okay, right. So now what we need to do is import. Okay. Choose file, import HR schema. And then where is my HR? Why? Okay, I would like to drop this table first. It's the same. So it's easier to check this one. So this is HR min. Okay, click here and then click import. Import. Can you see the tab here? Import. Okay. Click import and then choose file. Choose file, HR schema, my SQL. Okay, and then click go. You see? Now all the tables under the schema in HR has been created. Okay, so this is actually the same function as you did last week. Okay, but this one we just use the one that has been created. All right. So at the end of this lab, maybe you are querying how to create the SQL file. How do we create the SQL file? This one. Okay, at the end of this exercise, okay, we will create this using the backup function. Okay. Right. So now we have a countries, table departments, table employees, jobs, and so on. Okay, so the same like last week. Okay, or you can see this is the definition. This is the same. It should be the same. Okay, right. So can you do you finish this one? This exercise in unit 1, importing the table schema, database schema. Okay. So here is import database schema. Okay, so in the unit 3 backup database schema, we will learn how to create the .sql file. Okay, this is the activities. Okay, I hope you can do it successfully. Okay, so before we proceed, I would like to give some information about writing SQL statements. Okay, previously we learn or we use the SQL for data definition. That is create a database, create table, and then what else? Defining the attributes in the table and so on. So that's a part of the SQL. Okay, so from now on we go to thoroughly about the SQL, okay, to perform the data manipulation. That is for data retrieval. So remember last week, the last activity is to insert the data. Okay, so when the data is there, what we want to do? We want to call back the data. Call back the data. We want to see the data. Sometimes when we input 3, 4, 5, maybe hundreds, thousand data and so on, we cannot remember everything. So we want the engine of the SQL, okay, to find the information for us. Find the information that has been stored in the database for us. Okay, so how to instruct the engine of SQL by using the SQL statement. Okay, so this is the language that is used to communicate with UI and also the search engine. Okay, so the SQL statements are not case sensitive, Okay, SQL statement can be entered on one or more lines. Okay, keywords cannot be abbreviated or split across lines, and clauses are usually placed on a separate lines. Indents are used to enhance readability, but it doesn't matter how you manage that one. And SQL statement is terminated by a semicolon. And keyword typically are entered in uppercase. Keyword. Usually we use uppercase to recognize this as a keyword. Okay, and all other words such as table names, columns names are entered in lower case. Okay, like this. So you can see SQL is a database language used to query and manipulate the data in the database. Okay, and MySQL or language definition is used to perform this operation. That is a data definition, data manipulation, data control, data query, and data transfer. But in this lab, okay, we mostly perform these two. That is data definition and also data manipulation. Remember, data definition is for you to define the table and also the database together with its attributes. When we talk with attributes, so the following accompanied items is data, type, and size. Somehow together with the constraints. Okay, so this is a data definition. Then we also insert something into the data. Okay, and data manipulation has something to do with data retrieval. We want to retrieve back, okay, what has been kept in the database. Okay, querying from a table. So this is what you will learn. Okay, this is the syntax. Okay, select. So select is a keyword. Okay, select something from table name. Okay, so this is the common syntax. Okay, to call to retrieve something from the table database. Okay, and we have many. Okay, many. So from one lab to other lab, so we can we learn various types of query. Okay, query statement. Okay, so queries. I always say queries. So a query is a question or request for data. So that is a queries. Okay, question that requests for requesting the data. So when we make queries to the database, we need to use a common language that is SQL. Okay, it is as SQL. So a database here stores information in tables, contains rows and columns, and then in order to ask a well-defined question, you are going to need to know the following: where are you getting the data from? When we talk about where do we keep the data? We keep the data in the table. So the where statement must be from table. And then what? What are you selecting? What you want to be displayed? What you want to be reported? Which field? Okay, so this field. So it something has something to do with the attributes. Okay, attributes. This one is table. Okay, and are there any condition? Are there any condition? If yes, so what is the condition? So this is the basic things that or keyword that you need to know before you make a query. Okay, before you make a query. Okay, so now how to build a query? So based on the sample data, we want to know the list of company employees, for example. So we want to know the list of companies employees. So therefore, our SQL query will be close to the plain statement. Select, okay, from which table, select something, okay, select something. This one is something. See, something is actually select attributes. Attributes. If you want all attributes to be displayed, then use this star. This is actually to select everything defined in the database. But if you want to select only one or two part of the attributes in the database, then you can specify the name. Okay, so this, for example, this is attribute 1, attribute 2, attribute 5. Okay, so if you want a partial selection of the table's attributes, so you can name it. For example, select A1 and A2 only. Okay, from table what? So give the table name. Okay, and also give a criteria if you want to. Okay, so if not, the very basic query statement that enable the query to be performed by the engine is only like this. Select everything from employees, for example. Select everything from table name. Okay, so this is the simplest query that is allowable in the MySQL. Okay, so select is a must, from is a must. Okay, so this build the query for you. Okay, select statement. So the select statement is used to query data from the tables. So the retrieve rows are selected from one or more tables. See, we not only select from one table, but it can be expanded to select the data from multiple tables. And such a result table can be used as the basis of a report. Okay, we create a query, and then we serve to the MySQL, and then they use their search engine to search. And then finally, okay, they give the result. So the result also in a form of table, the same table, but with different content. Okay, now the content will be based on what is queried. Okay. So again, the basic syntax of select statement is like this, is given here. Select expression from table name. So each select expression indicates a column, okay, or attributes. of field. Okay, and the star is used instead of select expression as a wildcard if you want to retrieve everything, retrieve all columns from the table. And select identifies the column to be displayed. Meanwhile, from identifies the table containing those columns. Okay, so this is the function of keyword select and also from. Okay. This is an explanation of the select statement. It has a very broad range of capabilities. A select statement can retrieve information from the database. So with this statement, okay, they have various functions like a projection. Okay, select the columns in a table that are written by query. Select as few as or as many of the column as required. Okay, and that selection, select the rows in the table that are written by query. Various criteria can be used to restrict the rows that are retrieved. And join, so bring together data that is stored in different tables. Means that they join multiple tables to retrieve the data. And here is where the primary key plays a important role to connect or to link from one table to another table. Then they use join. So this is, remember last lecture is about the algebra and calculus relation theory. Then we have a Gaussian product, right? So this is how do they use mathematics, okay, to retrieve the data. Okay, in simple operation, yes, we create database, then you create a table, table 1, table 2, table 3. Okay, in simplest operation, you input the data, here. Okay, you give it the data, and then you want to call back, and then the search engine will give you the result. So this is a simplest operation of one table with one query. But somehow we do need to query from combination of all tables in the database. So we need to use other function like a join and projection, okay, to enable our query to be successfully obtaining the result, and the result returned is correct. Okay, so this is the select statement. Okay, now in your own DBMS, you can try this. Select all from departments, select all from employees. You can try this too. Entry. So this is to select all column, and the second exercise is to select something from the specific column. So we specify the which column we want to. We just want the department ID and location ID only. So this is to select the specific columns from the table. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, in the HRmin SQL, okay, select all, okay, from departments. Okay, click. So they give you everything in the departments. Okay, they display to you everything in the department like this. Okay, so it gives us in total we have 27 rows of data in total. Gives you everything. And the other one, select all from employees. Select all from employees. Please. And give us 107 rows in total. Employee ID, first name, last name, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have various columns inside it. Next, select department ID, location ID from departments. This one, select all from departments. Not select all. Select what? Department ID and location ID. We have location ID in the table departments, location ID. Okay. So it gives us only 2 columns. Okay, just display 2 columns as required in the query. Okay. So how about you? Can you follow?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. All right. So now where? Previously is only the basic, very basic queries that is select all or select a certain attributes from table name. Okay. Now we want to expand the query, okay, to include the condition. So if we want to put in a condition, then the keyword where is in use. Okay, we need to include the where in the statement. So in the where clause, a condition is used to select rows from a table. Then selected rows form the intermediate result of the where clause. Okay, and the where clause acts as a kind of a filter. So the given statement is a basic syntax, okay, to include the where statement. Okay, or where clause. This is for the example. The question is, please retrieve all employees in department 100. So the query will be select all because the question asks you to retrieve all employees. So select all from employees where department ID equal 100. So this is the expanded queries. We put in the queries the constraint statement, the condition, not constraint, sorry, the condition statement, syarat. Okay, so select all from employees. Okay, so you can try. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, let's. Okay, like this. Okay, select. Select all from employees. Employees where department ID equal to 100. Department ID. Integer. Integer. Use this one. So it gives us only employees with manager ID, sorry, department ID 100. This one. This one. Okay, so I will talk about the what you see now. You see now is a table that is produced by the search engine, SQL search engine, based on the query. And this is a table. This table is actually a virtual table. So it is not keep anything anywhere. It's just for display, and it lasts when you close the query itself. Okay, when I close this one and change other SQL, so this one will be discarded. Okay, so it is not saved or permanently recorded like this one, like the table you created. So this is actually is not an entities. Okay, the whole this one is not entities. It's only a display of a result produced by the query. Okay, right. This one. Next, select all from employees where job ID equal to IT program. We have, yes. So we have only 5 persons that work under IT program. Okay, IT program. Okay, so this is the another exercise, another example. And what is department 100? The third one, select all from jobs. Okay, from jobs. They ask, what is a IT program? Job ID. IT. Program. Select all from jobs where job ID equal to ID program. Okay, so the job ID IT program, so they want to know what is a job IT, IT PROG is actually a program. Okay, program. Or you want to make some changes. Like this, select job ID, job title. Select only job ID and job title from table jobs where job ID equal to IT program. We want to know what is it actually IT PROG. Okay, so we run this one. Okay, so they give us that the IT PROG under the job ID is actually the program. So it much easier to read the table. So without looking at any columns, because it's not necessary in this case. Okay. So the next exercise is to select all from employees where hire date, employees. In the table employees, we have ID, we have attribute, hire date. This one, hire date, hire date. And we want to know who is hired during that date. 1987 0617. And then click. So from there we get only one employee that has been employed during 17 June 97. 1987. Okay. And the last one in this exercise, we want to get the information whose salary of the employees is 17,000. Okay, so select all from employees where salary equal to this, because this is an integer. Okay, the data type is integer, so you can just so only 2 employees receive salary of 17,000. That is Nina and also Lex. Okay. All right. So from, as I mentioned, from lab 2 until lab 3 until the last lab 7, you will be doing this kind of queries. Okay, to query information from a table database. Okay. Any questions so far? So if no, so let us continue. Now you check at your table. This table is given by the system, by the PHP-MyAdmin, MySQL. What you see here is a data, okay, data together with its column name. Wait, okay, like this, okay, I put it here. Okay, so this is the result from the query. Okay, so this is the result, the query. So we have a query and they produce this one. And this is how it is represented. They print out the original naming of the column, like employee ID, first name, underscore, and so on and so forth. Remember just now I said that this is the result from the query. And this result of information retrieval actually can be used as a report. Okay, so when we have a report, then somehow we do not feel very good in the naming of this one. We want to change, but we cannot change it directly into the real table. Since this is a virtual tables, okay, so we can rename it directly to the real table. Sorry, in this virtual table. So this is actually table employees. Okay, we define the columns, okay, using the DDL, okay, but here this is the result, okay, so we cannot change this one, okay. The changes made in the result part doesn't affect the original table, it just changed in this view. So what you see here is a view, okay, it's a view. It's only change on this view. So yes, we can change the naming of this one, okay, by using rename column heading. We use a column alias or AS alias. So you can use AS as that, okay. Or we can directly give a new name beside the column we want to rename it. It's very useful if, for example, you want to make calculations, new output from the table. For example, here, okay, this is original table. This is for what price, product. Okay, you have unit. This is ID and this is item price per unit. Price per unit. Per unit. But when you make a query, you want to have to show the ID, unit price, unit per price, and the total. Maybe you can add the total. Okay, so by doing this, this is actually you perform the calculation. That is unit per price here, unit multiply by the quantity. The quantity. So you create a new column in the view in the query result. So we need to rename the column as a meaningful name. Okay, using a meaningful name. Like this one, total price or salary. Okay, for example, here we have a salary that we want to have an annual salary. So we give a column heading. Okay, and it required double quotation marks if it is contain spaces or special character. Okay, right. So let's do it. Okay, in the okay query. Select last name SAS name. So we want to actually replace the rename the original column name that is a last name using name. Okay, and also commission percent using commission. Okay, so let's go. So you can see it is changed. This is actually the last name and this is actually commission PCT. Okay, and it is changed. It is renamed. Okay, rename. But the changes is affect in this view only, not in the original table. Okay, right, and then the other exercise. Other exercise. This one, select last name. We give it apostrophe, double quote, salary times 12. This is what is meant by the calculation. And rename the column heading as an annual salary. Okay. If I think you can just use this one, like the previous one. Okay. Let me try. Okay, because it doesn't contain any spaces, so you can give a name without the double quotes. Okay, so this is the output. See, in this view, in this result, okay, they do calculate based on this calculation, based on this instruction. Salary is the original attributes. Okay, this one, salary. Okay, and then we can do operation during the searching. Okay, salary times 12, and then we rename the column as annual salary. Okay, so this will be the output. It is too large. Okay, this one. Okay, so that's it. That's it. The result from the column alias. So renaming the column heading. Okay, so the next part is a concatenation. Concatenate. You know this? Concatenate is gabungan to link or to join characters or string to the other column. So concat function is used to add two or more string, and it creates a resultant column that is a character expression. Okay, so the keyword here is a concatenate. Gabung. Okay. So select concatenate last name, job ID as employees. Means that we combine the columns, usually more than two columns together in the single column. Okay, single column like this. Okay, select concat. Okay, this is actually coming from the two columns, last name and job ID. But the result we want it to be appeared in a single column table. Okay, so you can see the output will be like this. See, it combines it into the multiple columns and they rename it as an employees. Okay, employees. Returns to us in a single table, a single column. Okay, the other exercise. Select concat bracket last name. We give some more additional connector. Is a with a single quote and then job ID as employees details from table employees. Now you can see that the queries can be included with various given keyword. Okay, means that keyword must be recognized by the SQL itself. So this is the output or the view you can see from the query. Employees detail. Remember again, this is only the virtual view. It changes to the column heading, name and so on, doesn't affect the original table. And the last one in the concatenation exercise will be select concat last name, 1 month salary is salary. So as monthly. So let us see the output. King, 1 month salary is 24,000. Kocha, 1 month salary is equals 17,000. So this is the output. Maybe you can change this heading name to be more meaningful. Okay, so this is the exercise for the concatenation. Now, until now, you learn about the select function, select from, then where, give the condition. Okay, you just want to information from specific data. Okay, and then you know the column heading using the alias or as, or you just simply give a name beside the column name. Okay, and then now is a concatenation to join or to link a multiple column into the single view, single column view. This is single column. Okay, then the last one is a distinct. This is important, distinct. So the select distinct statement is used to return only distinct values. Sometimes the information is repeated, okay, but we want to see the distinct one. Okay, so we use the distinct value. Distinct keyword. So they eliminate the duplicate rows. Okay, for example, in the department we have multiple employees, right? So we just want to show the single name of the department. We do not want to see each duplicated value. So we use the distinct. Okay, so select department ID from employees. Okay. They give us this one, department ID. Okay. They shows us 107 in total. This is the common select department ID from employees. But what will happen if we put a distinct statement? Put here distinct. Put the keyword distinct before the column name and then click go. See, we only actually have 12 department ID. Okay, 12 department ID. Okay. So this is the difference of using the distinct. Okay. And how do we use the distinct in our query? Okay, right. Okay, so we come to the end of the exercise of this week. Remember previously how do HR main SQL is created. So this is where the main HR SQL is created. Previously in the first unit we use the import. Now we use the button export, okay, to produce the SQL file. Okay, so in this table HR main, then we click export and provide this one. So you have the HR main SQL file. Okay. For example, previously we did not change any, or we did not change any data definition. We do not insert new data. We do not remove any data. So if changes is made, then the downloaded file, the exported file here contains the change, the updated information. Okay, and later on you can use by importing again and exporting again. So this is under the backup function. Okay, backup function. Alright, so this is the quick method to download the SQL file immediately, and custom method to get more control over the data. So this is the variation you can have while doing the exporting the table. Okay. Right. So that is all for today's exercise. Lab 3. And then what you need to do is to complete the task. Okay, lab 3 task. Write down your name, metric number, and read the instruction. Okay, write down the SQL statement and put the display, only part of it. For example, for the first query, the HR department wants a report that displays what? Last name, job ID, hire date, and employee ID for each employee, with the employee ID appearing first. Rename the hire date column as a start date. So what is the SQL statement here? So we have 3, 4, 5 questions and followed by the summary. Lesson learned. Every week you have this exercise. So I read what that has been written here. It is not a note. Okay, please do not copy paste a note somewhere in this part. This is your own experience. This is your own feelings. Okay, and your achievement. Okay, so write down it based on what you feel, what you gain. Okay, from the exercise. All right. So any question?